Awesome. Hey guys, welcome to the webinar today. My name is Ron Gilak. I'm a professional network marketer and home-based business coach. And today we're going to be showing you exactly how to have a daily routine for your network marketing business. And some of the things that we're going to cover and what you can expect today is how many people you should be talking to a day, how do you spend your time, and where do you get leads from. So I'm going to do my best to keep this kind of brief and just bare bones to the best of my knowledge to share this with you today. And I'm going to be giving you some tips, some basic how-tos on how to set this up for you, whether you're full-time or part-time. And some of the things that I'm going to teach you today has really helped me to become a top earner in one of my companies. I got a few of these around here. I think there's a few more over there. Another one, but I show you these things just to kind of show you that I do practice what I'm going to be teaching you today, and by following what I'm going to be recommending and showing you today, you can absolutely become a top earner as well. And I think really the key to this is you know, really managing your time well, being disciplined and consistent, and then taking consistent daily action as well. I probably work about 6 days a week. Every day. So today we're going to go over daily routine for MLM or network marketing. So first question we're going to cover is, how do you spend your time? How do you kind of allocate your time? So I practice a model, and I teach my team members and my coaching clients this model of 70, 20, 10. So what is the 70, 20, 10 model? So I break out, this is the amount of time that I spend in my working hours. So if you're part-time, you're still in your job right now, you have to look at the amount of hours that you can actually time block to spend on your business. Excuse me, should probably plug this in so it doesn't die. So you want to look at the amount of hours that you have to spend on your business every day. And this is the equation, the percentage of time that you want to split, right? So 70%, this first spot right here, this is your active prospecting, recruiting, doing three-way calls, showing the plan, meeting with people, presentations, home meetings, live webinars, conference calls. This is active, this is money-making activity right here. 70% of your time starting out, you're talking to people, you're exposing the plan, showing them into the business, right? So 20% of your time right here, this is going to support the 70%. 20% of your time is spent on marketing. That's passive marketing, meaning doing things like putting signs out, or ads, or doing online marketing, which I do a lot of, and I teach for network marketing as well. 20% of your time, you know, making videos, doing Facebook ads, real simple Craigslist, stuff like that, so you can have more people to talk to over here, right? All of this, 20% of your time is either spent like learning this kind of stuff and or implementing it so you can get more leads and more people to talk to. One of the companies that I suggest and I recommend for doing that is with My Lead System Pro. It's helped me to earn a full-time income in 2 different companies already. So I strongly recommend and suggest that as well. Then the other 10% of your time, and where you want to, this is actually the most valuable time of your working hours. The 10% of your time is actually spent on personal development. And it is the most valuable because without having the right mindset and without having the right line of thinking, this is not going to get done. And you bet your butt this is not going to get done either, because the rejection and the fear and the other voices of the enemy that try to climb up into your mind when you're doing stuff is going to affect that. So unless you're feeding your mind, you know, it's not going to work. So, you know, network marketing is also, you know, structured like this, like a pyramid, right? And it goes down. But the reality is, unless you start here in this model with the 10% down here, right, with your personal development, and then the 20% and the 70% up here, the passive marketing to kind of feed that, and the 70% spent on your actively prospecting, recruiting those leads that you generate here, that's really, it's an inverted pyramid. So that's the model that you have to practice with your business and your marketing to get this going in effect here, right? So that's kind of how I allocate my time, and I encourage my team members to do as well. If you're just starting out, the reality is that every single person in your cell phone, in your Facebook, all of your friends, everyone that you know needs to know what you're doing. If you have a business and you're proud to be a representative in that business, everyone needs to know. If you had a pizza shop and you're opening the doors of your pizza shop, would you tell people? Would you invite them to come have pizza? Absolutely. So the same thing true with network marketing. Everyone needs to know what you're doing. So let's dive into that equation about how do you get leads now? How do you find people to talk to? The 70%, right? So this is going to consist of your warm market, your cold market, which is people that you meet while you're out, right? Referrals. I don't know how to spell referrals, so warm, cold, referrals. Your new team members, so we're going to call that tap rooting. So when somebody comes on, you want to tap into their existing market and start growing roots, or legs is what we'll call them. That's kind of how that phrase goes. And you just gotta kind of work down their contacts as fast as you possibly can. And some people are really, really good at this and won't have to build that many legs. My dad, somebody who was very good at network marketing in the 80s with, what was it, Prime America now, used to be called A.L. Williams. He only recruited 8 people personally. He was a 6-figure earner. He was a top earner in that company. Out of the 8, 6 stuck with him, and he was just really good at this, at driving depth in an organization. So if you do this stuff right, and then focus on this tap rooting thing, you may never run out of people. Now, it's important that you do this kind of correctly. So I encourage you to be working with somebody that is full-time, or getting training and support from the right people that can really empower you to prosper in this area. The other thing that you can do, warm market, cold market, these are the people that you can talk to. This is something that I've done incredibly well at. I met one of the guys in my business who was the #1 income earner in our company, in a previous company in Canada. I met him on Facebook. So using Facebook, I've personally sponsored over 300 people into network marketing. And if you want a free training on that, just go to my website, rongielach.com. You get a free video that shows you exactly how I've sponsored 300 people just using the Facebook chat and groups and different things like that. So the beautiful thing about this is that your entire team can do all of these things. Your entire team can do all these things, and it's incredibly duplicatable. Now with Facebook, it's like, all right, these are great lead sources, but how much time do I spend with it, right? So 70% of your working time, right? So let's talk about that real quick. So, one of my mentors, or guys that I've followed and gotten a lot of incredible knowledge, he's the author of Your First Year in Network Marketing, is Mark Yarnell. Mark Yarnell says, if you want to make 6 figures in a year in network marketing, go talk to 20 people a day. Kind of a lot of people, right? And if you're hearing that from like talking to 0 people a day, it's almost overwhelming or fearful, right? So you want to go ahead and silence that right now and just start talking to people on a daily basis if you're in fear when you hear that. So if you're full-time network marketing and you're building, you're going hard, my goal would be, and this is if you want to go fast, right, is 20 people a day. So you need to have your lead generation up in order to do that, and also be working on your mind, because you're going to be hearing a lot of no's. Okay, so the 70% of your time, let's talk about if you're part-time. Okay, so part-time, I suggest a minimum of 5 exposures a day. 5 people per day should be seeing your network marketing presentation. That's either warm market, cold market, referrals, Facebook, any of that kind of stuff. So with Facebook, you should also be making 5 new contacts per day. You should be adding 5 new people to your network on a daily basis. So what Facebook really is a warm market generation tool. It allows you to make new relationships and make new contacts very quickly from wherever you are. One of the 2 tools that you're going to need is obviously 1, a Facebook account, and 2, you're going to want to get the Facebook Messenger app for your mobile phone. So I'll write Messenger here. The reason why you want that is it's a little more effective than just using Facebook on your phone. It's a little faster. And then also when you're sending messages to people, have you ever noticed that some of your messages go into the other inbox, which nobody ever checks, right? You don't get a notification about it or anything. So the Facebook Messenger will actually help you avoid getting any of your messages sent into the Messenger, right? So then 5 exposures a day, 5 people a day, and your warm, cold, and referrals and tap rooting. This should not be a problem. It really shouldn't. If not, if you're not here and you're building, you got to work on your mindset, because something's missing there, or you don't have the lead generation up to be able to do this. But this is like minimum what you should do. Like even if you're sick or something, like, well, I shouldn't say that. That's really harsh. But you need to have 5 minutes, 5 people, 5 exposures a day. So now the 20% of your time is actually going to feed this, right? And I also want to add, at the end of this, I'm going to go ahead and talk about, who you spend your time with and who you don't, because there are some people in there that will really just rob you and suck your time entirely, and it won't be productive. It's going to be difficult building as well. Man, I just love coffee. I don't know if blood actually runs in here. I think it's just coffee that fills me. So, all right, the 20% of your time. 20% of your time is spent passive marketing, right? So what are some examples, right? So YouTube, right? Let's just do offline. So offline, what can that be? A number of different things. Actually, I'll show you a couple things right here. So your offline marketing. So a couple of things that I've done for my offline marketing that keeps me filled with people to talk to is this. And I'll probably sponsor someone for every 100, 150 of these cards that I put out. So these are drop cards, and I'll try to remember to put a link in this video so you can get drop cards as well. But these drop cards, you just fold them up like this and you drop them. You've probably seen these before thinking it's real money, and then you're like, oh man, it's not real. But you don't have to talk to that person. You just drop them and put them in books and stuff whenever you're out and about. So here's an example, and I made this like years ago. So if you call the recording, you're gonna hear like me as a young man. So here's what it says here. 225,000 per year working from home. Don't believe it, don't call. And then there's a phone number, and it's a pre-recorded voicemail that you can use with Google Voice. I've done a lot of those. One other thing that's worked is I've got a stamp made. And I post that on Post-it notes, and then I leave them at gas stations, cork boards like at Panera Bread or your local mom and pop business, anything like that, because you can just stick them anywhere. I used to do that a lot in college and recruited some people that way as well. So those are some example of offline things. Those are signs, things like that. And excuse me. So I teach a lot of that stuff on my site at rongielach.com, where you can get a lot of free resources and training as well. So YouTube, offline, we can do Facebook in here as well, because you can do ads, and you can do some other marketing in a group that you would make or something like that. There's blogging. There's paid ads. This is if you got some money to play with, and you just want to build an audience and you want to get leads fast, this is probably your best way to go. There is a learning curve to this online stuff. That's why I highly recommend My Lead System Pro. I will put a link to that below in this video so you can learn more about online lead generation. So all these kind of things, the passive marketing, the offline, signs, Post-it notes, drop cards, all that kind of stuff is really what you should be doing your 20% of the time. And I call it passive because you're not actively prospecting or communicating directly to a person. You're putting a message out there and hoping that it is received by an unknown person that's going to respond to your ad, right? And network marketing, traditionally, the marketing that is taking place is word of mouth, right? It's person to person, belly to belly, right? So this is why I kind of call it passive, because it's going a little bit outside of the traditional belly to belly kind of thing. These things all work, and the old school guys are going to tell you, just do the belly to belly and all the offline stuff, and it all works, and if you're really good with the offline stuff and that's working for you, I would just build deeper. I wouldn't even bother with the online stuff, to be honest, because there is a learning curve there, and you just want to make sure that you focus on what's working. You don't need all of these strategies. If you have a solid lead generation, you can expose the plan 5 times a day, then by all means, don't take your foot off the gas, right? And then, the 10% of your time, personal development. So only resource I'm going to really recommend is Bible. That's probably the most valuable thing I have ever put into my mind, into my life. It has just totally changed me. I'm not the same person because of the message of Jesus and the empowering promises and principles and business principles in there as well. There's actually over 1,300 verses regarding money in the Bible. So if you want some keys to success and prosperity in the area of money and finances, this is really the way to go. And whether you're a believer or follower of Jesus or not, I think we can all agree there's some pretty good stuff in there. So you may want to start, diving into that and learning a bit more, because it's totally changed me. All right. So now here's a powerful lesson that I want to change, that I want to spend with you as far as your daily routine. So who do you spend your time with, right? So I'm going to try to draw a clock. Does that look like a clock? Yeah. I'm not a very good artist, but I think that looks like a clock. So we're going to talk about time management now. So there are two kinds of people. Actually, there's a few different kinds of people that you want to really avoid, right? The first is what I'll call energy vampires. You're like, what? Did you just say vampire? Yeah. I call these people energy vampires because they suck all of your energy, right? This is the type of person that calls to complain and whine and say that their team's not growing, that people aren't duplicating, and just has a negative perception, or says like, hey, I'm going to quit. I don't feel like I'm getting support. Like, this is not a good energy, right? You can say those same kind of things, but say, look, I'm looking to help my team grow more. I'm looking to help my team duplicate more. That's a different level of energy, right, than it is that my team sucks, my team's not duplicating, they're not showing the plan, that kind of stuff. So that is an energy vampire. So you really want to manage that. And I try to spend as little time as possible, no time, with these people, because if they are the ones that are feeding your time, it's going to, and with all these things, you're actually going to self-sabotage yourself. You're going to be spending too much time with the negative people, those that think they deserve your time, and those that, instead of those that have earned it. Right? That's a big key. If you're taking notes right now, spend time with those that earn your time, not with those that think they deserve it. Right? Big lesson right there. I learned that the hard way. Right? So energy vampires, and anybody, I'll call this person a negative Nancy. Negative Nancy is someone who is a pessimist, right? Who always has something negative or disempowering to say, or filled with doubt at in all times. You really want to do your best to just not even let this person into the business, right? Don't let them on your team. If someone is negative, I'm not even going to prospect them, because they're going to carry that energy into my business, into my team. And if they start talking to other team members and telling them how things aren't working out for them, I don't need her taking out my team members and having them quit as well as when she quits, right? So don't want those people in there at all. And why do I do this? Why do I say this? Like, not to spend your time with people. So I have some other funny names for it. I'm sure if you watch some of my other videos, you'll see some of those. So energy vampires and negative Nancy's. So why am I saying, like, don't spend time with people on your team, right? Because here's the reality. If you're new, you know, this will be an aha moment, and if you have some experience in the industry, this will kind of resonate with you as well. Imagine when you have a team of several thousand people or 10,000 people, and you have a lot of producers, you have a lot of leaders in there. So if you build incorrectly, where you are the go-to person to answer the questions, you are the go-to person to get support, or answer this question about volume or product sales or customers, whatever, you are going to completely have zero time. And the whole idea of network marketing is to leverage yourself and your time so you can create time freedom, right? It's not a job, it's an opportunity to create time freedom, but you got to do it the right way and point, guide, and direct people to the tools, to customer service, to your Facebook group, to a fast start training, any of these things that you have set in place if you're truly looking to be a professional. So you don't spend time with the negative people. Who you spend time with? Producers, new reps, getting them started, and your leaders. So when you have these three groups of people, these are the ones that you're really going to be spending and focusing your time on. Your producers, because they're making you money, they're out in the field, they're producing, they're selling the product, they're getting new customers, they're getting new reps. They're the ones that you wanted to kind of cultivate and turn into leaders. You actually want to do your best to try to replace yourself 5 to 6 times, right? 5 to 6 times, let's call it 6 legs, before you can really tap out, which hopefully you never want to, right? Our industry is just beautiful. It's amazing. So your producers, you want to change into 6 leaders. These are people that are going to do what you're doing and lead how you're leading, whether you're there or not, right? So you've replaced yourself. Your new reps, you want to spend time with them. And how I kind of do that is, once I find out after they join, I find out why they joined, what's important to them, what's going to drive them. And then I get them to watch our fast start training. After you watch your fast start training, I say, call me back. When they call me, I say, what did you learn? They tell me what they learned. And I say, okay, great. Go talk to 10 people and then call me back, right? Or I have them start a home meeting or home party, depending on how they came in, right? I have them talk to 10 people and then call me back. Let them know I'm available for 3-way calls as well, right? Then your leaders. This is one of the highest and best use of your time, is spending time with your leaders, which are your top producers, right? And ironically, this is actually the group of people that you spend the least amount of time with, because they don't really need that much. They might ask you questions from time to time, and you get them in like big meetings, or the hotel meetings and those kind of things, or getting people to conferences, annual convention, doing conference calls with these guys for the entire team. But these are actually the people that need the least amount of your time. If I call them and I talk to them, it's like, hey, what's up? What are you doing? I can't talk right now, Ron. I'm building. I got a meeting in 10 minutes. I'm like, okay, cool. I'll catch you later. Now, if I talk to somebody else, one of the new reps, they'll want to chat my ear off for 30 minutes, 40, an hour, right? That's not income producing activities. So these are how you spend your time, and really how you should be allocating the time spent in your business, because this is a business, not a nonprofit personal development charity, right? So that is your daily routine with this. And just to put a little more juice on this training here. So here's how kind of I do things when I'm aggressively building. How I kind of spend my time is, you wake up, you eat well. Yes, you got to eat good, feel good, eat and exercise. That doesn't even look like an X. I'm not a big like weightlifter person. At times in my life I have been. What I do for exercise now is I skateboard. I do any kind of board sports. So maybe whatever exercise is for you, do some kind of physical activity, eat, exercise. Let's do PD for personal development. You got to do that every single day. I encourage you to do it in the morning because it helps set the tone for your day. Also, when you're in your car should just be a mobile library. You should be having that kind of training and content going on in your car at all times, because you got to feed your mind, right? The Bible says that you're transformed by the renewing of your mind, right? You want to become a more powerful person, change the quality of your thinking, which will change the quality of your action taking, okay? So eat, exercise, personal development, then at a minimum, 5 people per day, right? And you're following up too. All right. So I'm making, depending on what time of day it is, if it's real early, I'm making some of my passive marketing. So I'll eat, personal development, and this should probably go over here, but so I'll do my passive marketing. I do like a video and a blog post almost every day. So passive market. So your content there, personal development, create a passive market. The reason I do it right after personal development is usually too early to start making phone calls right away. So I'll do that. I'll push it out there, generate leads. Then I'm contacting 5 new people, usually on Facebook, or if it's still early, you can do Facebook any time of day. It doesn't matter. That's why I like to do that then. And then you're following up with people who have seen the presentation, who you have scheduled times with, and then you're also, I don't know if you can see this, I'll write it over here. You're making your 5 new contacts, right? You have to constantly be filling your pipeline with new contacts. Really the lifeblood of our business is new people, right? That's either customers or representatives. Preferably, I think you want to have more customers than you do representatives. Some may argue that point. That's okay, but I encourage you to have more customers than you actually do representatives. And I say that because most traditional businesses usually have more customers in your organization than you do sales associates. Just look at like a department store, or Macy's or something like that. They just have more customers than they do salespeople, right? So at least 5 new people a day. Now, if you want to do the aggressive plan like Mark Yarnell does, and understand that this is something I would encourage you to work up to, because like going from 0 to 60 the first time you hop in a car, it's going to be difficult. It's going to be a little scary. You're going to get burnt out and stuff. So, go for 20 no's per day. One of my mentors, Ray Higdon, first taught this to me when I was 20 years old or 21 years old, and that's what I did. Did 20 no's a day for a while, because I was terrible. I was terrible at prospecting. I wasn't afraid to talk to people, but I was just really, really bad at recruiting and knowing what to say. So the more that you do this, the better you're going to get. And I'll tell you, discipline and consistency is going to outbeat talent, right? Because the more disciplined and the consistent you are, you're going to outbeat the talented guy that isn't taking action. And in time, you're going to become more talented and develop that skill. So 20 no's a day. Right now, if you're new, start with 5. Right? Start with 5. And once you feel comfortable and you're like, oh man, 5's no big deal, bump it up, go to 10, double it, right? And then do that for a while, then bump it up to 20, right? And you want to do this way because as you start growing your business and you start bringing on new team members and working with your team, your leaders, your producers, your new reps, the amount of time that you actually are able to spend prospecting this amount of people is going to become a little bit more limited as you're working with with the team. So you want to make sure you start at something sustainable, and that you don't transition into working with your team all the time. You should always be prospecting and recruiting. There's never a time that you don't personally produce. Okay, it's just not good leadership. So always at a minimum 5 people per day, 5 new contacts, right? 5 exposures a day. So that is kind of my fast start training on how to develop a daily routine. So what you learned today is the 70-20-10 split of your time. Who do you want to spend your time with and work with, and who to avoid? And then from day to day, how do I spend my time? We talked about personal development, making 5 new contacts, following up in the past, and then the more aggressive model of 5, 10, 20, getting to 20 no's per day. So if you implement this stuff and really follow this daily routine model, you're going to be a professional network marketer with this activity. So the other part of this and how you can really get better are 2 things. 1, become a member of My Lead System Pro so you can fill that 20% of marketing. I'm going to put a link below in this description of the video. Number 2, be constantly working on your training, your recruiting and skill set. And I do a lot of that at rongielock.com. There's some resources there for you guys. And then 10% of your time, that personal development, that Bible, get in there. Guys, if you got some value here, please go ahead and comment below, share on this video, and make sure to check out My Lead System Pro, and happy marketing. God bless you, and thank you so much for being here. My name is Ron Gielock. I'm a professional home business coach and network marketer. Thank you so much again for being here, and God bless.